Great to get to chat with y'all. I'm Brett from Pop Heist. Very excited. This is such a different kind of show to see y'all on. Well, not Candy. Candy, you're now becoming like, you're collecting all of the reality genres. What is next? Are you going to go on Survivor? Top Chef?
Well, there is a cooking show in the works, but we'll save that one for later on.
Wow. But so preparing for a show like this, with Drag Race, it's like, okay, I got to get a whole lot of looks together, got to spend a lot of money. Like, what was it like preparing for this? Was it just, I'm going on vacation, Lux?
Yeah, it kind of was just like unpacking for vacation. I didn't have to worry about, the things that you said, like getting all these custom looks and spending a whole bunch of money. I kind of just, packed my stuff, bought some warm clothes, and got on the plane and went to the house.
Yeah, Kenny, how did this compare to like prepping for like House of Villains or Drag Race?
Well, again, in Drag Race, we film in LA. We have to get all these looks together. And House of Villains, we also filmed in LA. So the toughest part was getting ready for the winter in Canada because I did not expect how cold it was going to be 2 hours outside of Toronto. It was very, very cold. I think the toughest part was staying warm and packing warm clothes. But I think for the most part, we did a really good job. We all bought some really amazing looks. Everyone was in their fur coats and their neon jackets in the snow. So I think we did a really good job at packing for Slaycation.
Like, when you go on Drag Race, you're going on like your drag character, your drag alter ego persona is kind of like your superhero persona that you can change into. But like this is, you're kind of going on as yourself. Like we're seeing y'all on vacation. Was it nerve wracking at all being like, oh, well, I don't really have the like Lux or the Candy persona to like hide behind sometimes?
Well, I would say that a lot of Lux is a lot of me out of drag as well. There isn't like a huge personality shift
Yeah.
between me in and out of drag. I talk the same, I kind of walk the same. I kind of dress just as outlandish sometimes out of drag as I do in drag. So it's not really a huge difference between me and Lux. Lux just wears kind of more expensive shoes and has hair.
Is that the same for you,
Yeah,
Candy?
no, yeah, no, absolutely. I enjoy being in front of the camera, in or out of drag. I think I'm the same in and out of drag, except maybe a little more bitchy in drag because drag is not comfortable. But nonetheless, there was never a time where I was scared of what I would be in front of the cameras, not in drag.
Yeah.
I was actually more excited because I was like, well, now the audience gets to see us in a almost kind of a different light than they do on Drag Race. It's
Yeah.
more because we're out of drag a lot in the show, so it was exciting.
But also on Drag Race, most of the episode we're out of drag.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah.
That
only in drag for like the last like 30 minutes of the episode. So
Yeah.
you see a lot out of drag on Drag Race. So this wasn't too different.
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, going on vacation and stuff is like you find out a lot about your friends when you get an Airbnb together and you find out like, oh, this person snores, this person can't cook, this person's messy. Like, what did y'all learn about each other that maybe surprised you having to live together?
oh god,
I
you
didn't
know,
really know too much about a lot. Like I didn't the only people I knew before were Candy and Carrie. And I didn't really know too much about their like personal lives and how they do things before. So I kind of just it was like a blank slate for everybody for me.
Yeah.
So I kind of just, I don't know, it was weird because as much as we are like together with everyone, we're doing things all day. So we're not really like having the experience of like roommating with
Hmm.
people because once we get back from being out and like doing all these activities and doing all these things of the day, we're like exhausted. So most of us are kind of just like sitting on the couch or like going to bed.
again, we did learn though a lot of stories from each other that
True.
maybe necessarily we wouldn't have known prior to being in the house. Because there are a lot of really good stories being told on the show. A lot of the girls get really personal with their stories. So yeah, a lot of personal things that maybe necessarily you wouldn't find out from each other if you were working together at a club, you know.
Hmm.
When y'all get to be cruise director for the day, was there a specific Queen's Day that you might have been like dreading? Like, oh my God, I don't know what Lawrence has in store for us. Like, who were you most looking forward to and who were you most worried about, I guess?
I was most looking forward to Jada because she like is the self-proclaimed like turn up queen of Toronto. So I was interested to see like what she was gonna have us do. Like, were we gonna like go to the club? Like, were we gonna like what was the tea with Jada? Because she, you know, her thing is having fun and like partying. So I was like,
Yeah.
what are we gonna do? But I know
And
that
she's
like
like she's a resident queen in Blue Mountain up there too.
yeah,
So
she like knows the tea up there. But I guess I would say I was intrigued for like what Boa's day would be or for what like Lawrence's day would be because I didn't know like they were the people I knew like the least about. Well, it would be more so Boa than Lawrence. I knew a little more about Lawrence, but I would say that I was more intrigued to see what Boa's day would be like.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
yeah, I was excited to see again what Jada was gonna do with her day because she works up in Blue Mountain a lot. And yeah, I think I was honestly intrigued to see what everyone was gonna do. I don't think there was one person I was nervous for. I was mostly just like curious
Hmm.
because again, you have to make sure that five other queens are thoroughly entertained from the moment the sun goes up to the moment the sun goes down.
Yeah.
And that is a very interesting task to do. But I think for the most part, the girls.
So on Pop Heist, I'm compiling a like how to do drag like guide from like queens that I'm talking to and whatnot. I just wanted like you two both have very specific things I wanted to ask about. Like first of all, like Lux, how do you do your like tips on nose contour? Because you have such like an iconic like nose contour. I didn't know if there was if
Yeah.
you had any tips for like how to do like the blending and whatnot.
I would say work light to dark. Um, like do your highlight and then clean up the contour.
Yeah.
But my nose is so interestingly shaped. It's so like I have a huge nose. There's no getting around it. So I wasn't gonna try to like draw on like an exclamation point on my nose. That's not gonna like I do that now sometimes when I'm running late, but it's like it's not it's kind of hard to hide like this nose. So you kind of got to embrace it. So I
Yeah.
just like, embraced the way it was shaped and I just kind of contour it like big and skinny, which is like weird, but I don't know.
Well,
Don't
and
be afraid to try new things. Everybody's nose is different, so you can't just put someone else's nose on your face. You kind of got to play around with that.
Candy, the blush. What's your blush journey been? And how do you like? You're kind of almost known as like the blush queen, almost.
You know what's so funny? There was at one point in my career where I didn't wear blush. And I think the blush happened on All Stars by mistake and then it just stuck. Nowadays, I'm really into lots of pink blush. It changes. There are times where I'm into orange blush. There are times I'm into red blush. Right now, I'm into the really frosty pink blush. Yeah, again, it's one of those things of like, I always tell people there is no such thing as too much blush. Put it on. Blush is fun. Blush brings back the life into your face. And one thing I would say to a lot of people is in the makeup community, there's a brand new blush product coming out every single day. You don't need it. I've been using the same blush product for 2 years now, and it works for me. So